Free will is a topic that drives many to an existential crisis. There are many people, especially atheists, such as Sam Harris, Daniel Dennett, and Alex O'Connor, who have popularized the view that free will is just an illusion. I take the opposite view. Many people have said that free will is an inconsistent concept, that such a thing can't even logically exist. So in this video, I will not try to prove that it does, but I will try to show that free will is a logically consistent concept. In order to steelman the arguments, I will take what I believe to be the best arguments against free will that I have found, and therefore I will be commenting on two videos made by Alex O'Connor. So before I discuss anything, let's get the definitions out of the way. I define free will as the power of self-caused decision making. Now, what do I mean by this? It's if you have many options, such as option A, B, and C, you are free to choose any single one of them without anything else other than yourself determining what that choice actually is. Now, here's Alex's definition.
I'll go with the most succinct and least controversial definition that I've been able to come up with, which is this. Free will is the ability to have acted differently.
Okay, yeah, that sounds quite good. The ability to have acted differently. No problems so far. Let's keep watching.
What I mean by this is that if we were to wind back the clock in any situation, it was completely within the realm of possibility for you to have acted differently to the way that you actually did. For instance, it would have been completely possible for me to have said bonjour at the beginning of this video instead of good morning, and the choice to say the latter was completely within my control. The idea is that you are in control of your actions, and any decisions that you make are determined only by your own conscious self.
Completely in my control. Straight away I can see that there is some kind of a problem.
Well, firstly, we would need to be aware of everything that is influencing our actions, including environmental factors, our precise mood, the influence of other people, the influence of past experiences, and more. Secondly, we would need to be in complete control of every one of them.
You have to know and be in control of everything? I don't think anybody believes in that kind of free will. I think that's the wrong level of analysis, honestly. When you decide to do something with free will, you don't decide to do things at the very surface level, at the concrete level. It's much more abstract than that. Now, what do I mean? Let me give you an example. Let's say that you want to improve yourself. That is what you want to do. That's the choice that you make. And we can imagine that in two different contexts. In context one, we have a person that's at home and he wants to improve himself. And he hasn't exercised for a very long time. So what does he do? He goes and starts exercising. Now, that same person goes and is in a different situation. Now he's outside. And he doesn't usually help strangers out. But he sees a homeless man on the street. And he decides to give him some money. So he also improves himself in this regard. Now, in both situations, at the surface level, he's doing completely different things. On the one hand, he's exercising. On the other, he's giving charity. But the will that was at the very bottom of it was exactly the same. And you could see this also in children as they grow up. If a child has a will to do something, and quite a strong will that doesn't change over time, then when they are young, perhaps they start playing with some toys, like playing with some space rockets. Then they grow up and they go and they start studying physics and mathematics and chemistry and other subjects like that. Later they go and become astronauts when they finally grow up. Now, have they changed? They seemingly did different things, but the same will was driving them into doing what they actually wanted to do. Now we can take the opposite of that, and we could get two different people with different wills doing the exact same thing. For example, you could have one person that wants to earn money, and he wants to earn money, so the money is at the surface level. He wants to earn money to support his family. Guy B wants to earn money to buy a swimming pool and enjoy his life. So the first guy is doing it in service of others, and the second guy is doing it for pleasure. On the surface, it seems the same, but that is the wrong level to look at. That's not where free will exists. Free will is at the bottom level, at the deepest level, that which drives us.
Okay, you say, so I can't control all of the factors that led me to like the taste of ice cream, but on a more mundane level, I'm still in complete control over whether I choose chocolate or vanilla.
And this is exactly what the problem is. You see, chocolate or vanilla ice cream, that's the surface level choice. That's not a choice at all. That depends on your taste buds. It depends on what's available at the shop. It depends on many factors. But what was actually chosen at that time, I think, most likely, is somebody wanted to experience some pleasure. And ice cream happened to be the thing that they like the most in that specific moment in time. If they went to a different place and there were no ice creams, maybe there was a cake shop, then they would buy a cake. If there was no food at all, but there were games or movies, then they would do exactly that. So you see, the surface level is not the right level to be looking at.
So what would make me choose vanilla over chocolate? Well, there is only one possible answer, which I'll elaborate on shortly. I would need to want it more than chocolate. In order to choose vanilla, I'd need to want vanilla. But is this something I can control? Can I control what it is that I want? Not a chance.
So I go to the shop to buy a chocolate ice cream. What is it that I can and I can't control? I can't control my taste buds. The fact that an ice cream is pleasurable to me is outside of my voluntary control. However, I can control whether I want to experience pleasure or not. Imagine the scenario in which someone is overweight and really likes chocolate ice cream. He could either do what is immediately pleasurable and buy the ice cream, or he could diet for the greater good of himself. Here the choice is not between a chocolate or vanilla ice cream, which are surface level manifestations, but between immediate gratification and the greater good. Now, Alex would go on to say that you still have to want to do something for the greater good more than immediate gratification, and that is true, but there is a difference between wanting a chocolate ice cream and wanting to do something for the sake of immediate gratification. The way to conceptualize this is to ask the question why over and over again until you build a hierarchy of values. It could look something like this. I want a chocolate ice cream. Why? Because I want to eat something tasty. Why? Because I want to feel good. You can't keep asking this question forever. There will always be a first reason that has no reason beyond it other than that you willed to do so. In Latin, it's called the summum bonum, the ultimate goal according to which values and priorities are established. It's a category error to compare the summum bonum with its surface level manifestations. A decision, such as choosing to eat a chocolate ice cream, is a final result of both the summum bonum and the circumstances, not just the circumstances. If I placed a person with the same summum bonum in different circumstances, the entire value hierarchy would look very different, and so would the final choice. Naturally, someone who is committed to materialism would say that there is no conscious reason beyond the summum bonum, but there is probably some unconscious neurological reason. But I'm not here to debate whether materialism is true or not. I'm here to show that free will is a logically consistent concept, and the idea of an ultimate reason to do something without an external reason sounds exactly like something that a free will would do, a self-caused decision.